says good morning all the time. It means that we need to be happy. We need to see the light. The sunshine is always there. Keep it in your heart. Keep it in your blood. Keep it in your cells. Uh, that's the conversation's topic. That's the talk. Can you tell me what success means to you? If you have a chance to post your comment, please do so. I'd love to know what you think. Success, we've been talking about it for all our lives. I'm 57, born in 1968, and maybe after seven, it's a dream. It's something I want to touch, to feel. Success, be successful. What does it really mean? Today, that's the day to talk about it. That's the day. Coach Morning, you're watching Coach Morning live today. Does it mean the same thing for everybody? Does success mean the same thing for everybody? Maybe not. Some people can see the success just by having the ability to have a house and a car. Sometimes the ability to have a good job, a good paying job. I think in America, people think of success sometimes as just having a six-figure income. If they have a job that pays them six figures, they're happy. They feel happy. They feel good. But is it true success? But I say every all the time. I talk about it in my book, Success with Meaning. I think it means your success doesn't mean my success. Success must have a personal meaning. You have to define it, what it is for you. Maybe your success could be having the ability to change the lives of your family. I like when Shaquille O'Neal doing interviews says, I am the first one to have done it in my family. Nobody had a doctorate. I had to do it myself. It's a great thing. I like when he said that. It means his success means growing as a role model for his family, for the people in his family. Maybe they can see him as a role model and they can duplicate what he has realized. Not becoming the MVP in the NBA as he did, but at least have the ability to accomplish something that people love to see. As you know, parents like when their children have accomplished something they can be proud of, they can talk about. And Shaquille O'Neal talks about that sometime. I've done that. I was the first to do it in my family, my MBA, my doctorate. And it's a great thing. And by the way, I love when he said his first million was gone very quickly because he had to buy a car for his dad. So that shows someone who he was is not wasn't part of the conversation, but we're talking today. It's it's a free talk. It's not something planned. It's a conversation. What a pleasure. I love when people can be proud of their parents and be proud of their family. As I said a lot of time, it's good to be successful, but it's good to be balanced. And when you attach to your family, your country, your roots, you have, as you know, a tree with a weak root is not a solid tree. Same as us. We need to have something as roots where we attach to. And our family, our country, our culture, our beliefs, system, our values, they all represent a sort of root, a system of roots for ourselves, something we are attached to, and that considered can be considered as our foundation or roots. That's I don't know. That's part of the conversation. I felt the need to talk about success today. Felt the need about success. So success is defined by you, not by someone else. Don't let people define your success. You the one who are supposed to define what success means to you. And when you define it, then going to have your you're going to set the tone. Decide what you're going to do to make it happen. So your success first has to be, must be defined by you, not by someone else, not by your parents, not by your friends, not by society. I define success as the ability to transform. If you have, let's say, $1,000, somebody may have the ability to have $100,000. When I talk about finance, it doesn't have to be finance. It could be anything, anything. So we are not born with the same opportunities. Now, so sometimes I look at somebody, maybe they have not accomplished big financially, but I think about where they were, how they started, what they have. If you have the ability to transform what you have, I call it talents, right? The talents you have, the opportunities you have, what you have from your parents, your country, your society, your environment. If you have the ability to transform, to make them, to make more than you received, then I consider that as success. Maybe we're not going to say that's a little success, that's a middle success, that's high level of success, but it's success in a sense because you've been able to transform what you've received. Very simple way of defining success. But also, I have seen cases where people start with very little and they make more than most or a lot of people who have had much more than them when they started. And we have plenty examples. Some kids were born in parents where they were millionaires or multi-millionaires, but they did not do make that much. Okay? When you compare them to some other guys who started with very little in their parents, with what their parents had, the opportunities in the markets, but because they had a vision that was so big, so great, they became multi-billionaires. So not because they had a lot of money when they started, but they have a big vision. Isn't that interesting? A lot of some people that you know now are among the richest men in the world. They did not start. They did not have a rich family, but they became powerfully, very powerful financially. They became one of the richest men in the world. So that says something about the vision they they had in their life. Yesterday, doing Coach Morning Live, the regular show, I talked about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison did not have a lot when he started. As a matter of fact, at the age of 12, he became an entrepreneur. He was selling newspapers and candies on the trains. but he became a very powerful investor, businessman. He did so much with 1,093 patents. Isn't that great? But he did not have that much when he started. So sometimes your success has nothing to do with how you started. I think your success has a lot to do with your vision. How big is your dream? The size, the dimension of your dreams will define how far your realizations will go. Isn't that interesting? And that's an opportunity for me to talk about the MVP code, which is part of or a product of what I wrote in my book. The title of my book is Success with Meaning. Success with Meaning is based on 5 important steps that you take. When you think of yourself as not only a person that needs to take care of their personal interests, their personal realizations, but someone who came with the mission of doing more, the goal of doing more, the vision of doing more for the world than just for themselves, but they embrace the future of the world, the realization of the world, the capacity of the universe or the planet or humanity. Very important. Your vision will determine how far you go, how big is your success. I have sometimes the opportunity to talk to my son, and I tell him that success, when you have big dreams, those big dreams are not for you. You become someone useful for the world when you start having big dreams, because there is no way your big dream can serve just you. When you're not selfish, you have big dreams. You start thinking about how you can help the world be a better world, how you can improve education for millions or thousands and thousands of children, how you can help build better healthcare, how you can create more jobs for the economy, for society, how you can make your country a better country. Success with meaning is not about me, it's not about you, it's not about him, it's about the world. How can we transform the world with our capacity, our abilities, with our talents, with our dreams, with our actions, with our realizations? That's success with meaning. We start with thinking that our life is not just for us. Thomas Edison could have died without leaving us with all those realizations in electricity, in technology. But when you start having big dreams, you become useful for the world. You become an asset for the world. And that's how we get to success with meaning. And when I talk about success with meaning, I say that you have 5 important steps. The first step is to have a mission, and the mission is not about how you can make your life a better life, but it's how you can improve people's life. How can you make the planet a better planet? How you can improve healthcare? How you can improve? So you start with having a mission to improve something for the world, a sector, an industry, the way people live, something in your country. It depends. So you decide how you're going to affect, make the world a better world with having a personal mission. It's not just a life to have beautiful things, to have a person, to have luxury, and to let everybody know you've become successful, but it's have what have you done for the world around you? That's the start of success with meaning. How can I make my life memorable, not just for myself, but memorable for the world, like Thomas Edison did, Jeff Bezos did with Amazon? He transformed the business world, how people shop, how small business can distribute their products through technology. So many examples. We have so many, where people with big dreams have been able to transform other people's lives. That's what technology does. But I have to have the big dream with that goes with technology, goes with entrepreneurship, go with business knowledge, and how you build companies that can help people do better, create jobs, help the government. When you have big dreams, you help the government because you cannot do realize your big dreams without having the help of other people. So those people, you're gonna find a way to pay them for their work. That's how you help the government. Entrepreneurs, small business, big businesses, all the companies that you see, they are part of the world of helping the government create more jobs. So the more entrepreneurs you have in a society, the more dreamers, especially people who have big dreams, the better it is for society because the government doesn't have to carry the load of finding ways to create jobs for people with their own means. They can support those entrepreneurs. They can help with them. They can promote them. They can help them build their businesses. And that's how they create more jobs. So success, the size of it will depend on your vision. So we talk about the mission. So that just decided what sector you're gonna be in, how you can impact the world. You cannot do everything. You cannot be the multi-service man who wants to do, or woman who wants to do everything. You have to decide what sector, what industry, what area you're going to impact. In what area you're going to make a difference. That's your mission. That mission for yourself, personal mission, is going to make the base of your success with meaning. It's not just a personal aspiration. It's an aspiration. It's a personal aspiration, but it's for the world. Then you have to transform that mission, get a vision from it. Because when I say I would like to make an impact in education, it's very huge, it's big, and it's vague. Okay? In that case, I have to define a vision. The vision determines the size of my impact, how much I'm gonna do, and how I see it. That's the vision. If I am in education, I can say, I want to impact my village. I want to impact my country. Or I want to change the quality of the education, make it better. That can be the vision. I want to impact education by improving the way knowledge is transferred. I have seen this morning in China, they have about 60,000 um, technology boards that they don't have to have the traditional blackboards. It's based on technology. The teachers can communicate with their children in a better way. That's the vision. That's having a vision on education. How I can improve it. I'm going to improve it at a certain level. I define that vision. I want to make sure that every child in this neighborhood, in this village, in this country, in this county, have access to quality education. That's a vision. Then I have to build passion around that. The I always talk about Hegel, George Friedrich Hegel, a German philosopher in the 19th century. He said that nothing great in the world has ever been accomplished without passion. So, passion, I say, is the fire. So, when you have that mission, you define the vision, which says what's the size, how you're going to transform, how you see the transformation that you're going to do for the sector you've chosen as your mission. And then you have to build passion, because without that passion, you can't do it. Like today, I'm talking to you because I have the passion for making people's lives better, how I can push people to do more, to have bigger dreams, so they can help transform the world in a bigger way, do as much as they can, transform the world in their own way. That's passion. And then that's nice. You have passion. That's how you have a mission. You have a vision for your mission. Passionate about making things better, but it's not it. That's not you're not there yet because so far you have not done, touched anything. You have not transformed anything yet. So then I need to have a plan that define all the steps, okay, all the strategies, all the tactics, all the objectives, all the goals to make things happen. And the most important thing in a plan, to have a plan, is to be able to have a very specific goal. In one of the shows, I have talked about SMART goals. And I remember I, I could not talk about the R, but in SMART goals, you got 5 letters in SMART. Those letters define the qualities of the specification, the features that you have in a goal. Okay? The goal need to be specific. That's the S. The M is measurable. The A, specific, measurable. R is relevant. T is time bound. And the A, smart. It always happened to me. Smart goals. Smart, measurable. Smart. We got to be smart, right? We have to be smart. And sometimes just fly. It flies. Achievable. I know why sometimes we forget some of those. Sometimes you think about a goal, and when you start thinking about achievable, so it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. But what happens sometimes? If you start thinking about achievable, maybe you're gonna have a very limited goal. And you don't want that. When you dream big, sometimes it has to have a little bit of craziness. Sometimes it's like you don't want to be too realistic. Because by being too realistic, you're gonna think about things that you keep that you that is maybe not easy, but as the word says, achievable. So I try to avoid the word achievable for the fact that when you have big dreams, you have to start thinking that they are more you're going to find ways to make things happen. It's like the people exploring space now. If they start thinking about achievable, maybe they're not going to work that hard. So I have to think that there are possibilities that have not been explored yet. And I'm going to work on that. Very important. So I have the goal, specific, measurable, achievable at some point, but I have to think that there are more opportunities that I need to explore, more possibilities that maybe other people have not explored. That's what you call a visionary. You see things that other people have not seen yet, relevant and time bound. So you need that in your plan. That's very important. And then you're going to attach to those to the goals your your strategies, your tactics, your objectives. That's that's your plan. I have to have a set of steps that shows me how to execute the all the steps in order to get to what I want. That is going to be the the realization of the the vision that I have, which is attached to my mission and with my passion. And what makes it happen? It's my action. So the fifth step is action. If I want if I want to make things happen, if I want to be successful, I have to take action. It's not just one day. It's action every day. What are you doing to make things happen? And sometimes the first action may not work as planned. Then I have to make some adjustment. I have to be ready to adjust my strategies because the marketplace, life, the reality of everyday life is not always doesn't come always as expected. I have to make adjustment. I have to be persistent, to be resilient, ready to fight for what I like, what I want, the impact I want to make, the difference I want to make. Again, again, it's a pleasure to be with you. I hope you enjoy the time. Anytime I feel the need to talk to you, I'll go live and have a little conversation, a little talk. Let me know. Send your comments. Tell me anything that you would like to change, the way I present the topic. Tell me what you think about success, how people, how you define the successful people, how you define your success. How can we help young entrepreneurs, young people, students achieve success, their desired level of success? This is Coach Morning on Coach Morning Live. I love you all.